Hi, Marco here, and welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So we're starting off from last episode. We finished it with Giselle Brett well, um, being convicted, technically, but as Professor Mikitoba said, the case or the trial was not really a big of a deal for Miss Giselle Brett because she will be tried in another country. I think it's Shanghai, if I remember correctly. So technically, we just played the trial, and no one really was convicted or will be put to jail. But at least we put ourselves out of the guilty verdict. So we acquitted ourselves, right? Um, but yeah, um, so we are continuing our journey or our cases. So we're starting off with episode 2, right? I forgot the title of this episode 2 for this game. So let's see. Um, let's start with this episode 2. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Ooh, is it a musical band or?
In a corner of that small, dark
Let's listen.
room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Oh, I think the band is like a long piece of fabric or rope, and speckled meaning spot. So I guess it fits the snake. It's a description.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this
Oh, it's
curious murder.
Susana
Pray,
Mikatoba.
excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script.
I don't understand some of
Evidently
his words.
not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality.
Oh, be careful with that gun. Whatever that gun is.
This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Why is that person
Who are
striped?
you, and what do you think you're doing here?
Da! No one must touch
Oh,
me.
Russian.
Maritime police come. We must wait.
That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What?
Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
Literal
You
paper
don't mean
thin.
The culprit is in there.
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Herlock Sholmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Herlock Sholmes. Who is that person inside the closet? So let me tell you about Herlock Sholmes a bit. Um, Again, this game is a translated version from a previous earlier game. They used Sherlock Holmes previously, but due to copyright issues right now, um, I think the Conan Doyle Manor or something like that, the club insists that Nintendo or Capcom cannot use the name Sherlock Holmes in this game. So in retaliation or to circumvent that restriction, they named this person Herlock Sholmes, and it passed apparently. So yeah, we're working with Herlock Sholmes right now. So yeah. My head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Oh? Wait. Oh god. It is us, Rinosuke? We're in the scene. We're in the scene. Wait, I can't move. Oh no. We're handcuffed. Ah, what the? Why am I in handcuffs? So you wake up now, hmm? The sailor. We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You... Ha! You found me then. Da, we found you. And now you pay, criminal. How long are you hiding in the tiny wardrobe, huh? Sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, hmm? No. I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Susano? Oh, Susato. My bad. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Sorry, I haven't played this game for a while. As you can see, my last save game is in August and I'm playing it right now in October. So, yeah, sorry about that. Miss Sato. Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Oh, where is he? Where's Kazuma? Oh, is Kazuma dead? Oh. Ha! You pretend you did not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama was... Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Oh god. Is Kazuma dead? Here, in this very cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. His body. Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? But he can't be. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please! I'm the suspect again. Oh no. Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? Also, Kazuma is bringing us to him, with him, to England to study law, I guess. But since only Kazuma got the permission from the government, We really are illegal immigrant if this is if we are talking technicalities. It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. We fitted in that luggage? I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside that trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey! Honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be forgiving in a stowaway. That's true. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend. More to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there. I think it won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it will be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. I'll tell you what. Why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. So that's why there's a piece of paper stuck in the front of the wardrobe. Yeah. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this happen? We are supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer? Oh god. No, I'm not a murderer. Dah, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on this ship, but murdering my best friend, no one else could have done it. Susata-san? Please tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there's something I would like to ask of you too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is to try to find out what really happened. So, we should ask about Kazuma's death. I can't believe Kazuma is dead. We just finished last episode and they killed off Kazuma again right away. I thought he will be with us until the end of the game. He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer? When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? There's no access to the cabin via the porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after the crime, the culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, the culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? I'll see. No, I don't have any information yet. This is impossible. How did he die then? What happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charges? Even despite the circumstances? Please, Susato-san, you have to tell me. Okay. Excuse me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died? The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably, that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. Really? That's true, yes. So so we're still unsure if he's dead, but he's unresponsive, I guess. Can anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably, that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please, whatever you say. You were here in this cabin after all. Oh, Sasata is very, very stern about this. I mean, she will not think twice as our friend, but I mean, being a professor's child, right? Well, yes, I was, but... Oh, but she's sad though. He would always wake before dawn and do his training first thing in the morning. Huh? Oh, okay, that's the front of the port, or the door. I was waiting outside his cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead? When Susato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wondered. I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when he managed to get inside... Oh god, that's Kazuma, alright. There was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. Why is he writing on Russian then? It's weird. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. Yeah, who would even sleep in the middle of some commotion? This is all very hard to believe for me too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes, alright. Ugh, my head feels so heavy. It's still throbbing like anything. Okay, so we are answering about why we are a stowaway, I guess. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. Okay. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No, that would have been impossible, obviously. Oh. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you? But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I don't understand. Okay, more flashback. Kazuma, why do you want this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? Oh. It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. Well, yes, you did say that. But I didn't think you were serious. Oh. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then what? Nothing. Forget it. Okay? Kazuma really wanted us to become a full-fledged lawyer by studying abroad with him. Kazuma-sama is... He was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I ever seen it before. Susato-san? I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I knew Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me. To avoid me becoming guilty by association. Well, she nailed it. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. Okay, so we will tell about the last night. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is, I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. Okay, so we ate inside the cabin, or the wardrobe. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. Sorry. Of course, he will not eat it inside. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. So deeply that you didn't even stare when Kazuma-sama was killed. Well, yes. Oh, we're becoming more suspicious. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do. But it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. Did the culprit do something with our heads? Really? Huh. Susato, please believe me. I'm the protagonist, right? I didn't do anything. Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please, forget it. Oh, Susato is hiding something. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there's no one else who could possibly have done this. Is there someone with ill intent on Kazuma? Kazuma, I don't understand why. Why did this have to happen? You can take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. I can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry, but Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands tied, while whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how and why they did it. So I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. Hiya! Oh god. Oh no. She knocked us out. What the? That was a Susato takedown. Oh, I love it. There's a personal move bearing your name. A Susato what? What martial art form is that? The Susato takedown. I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry? Prove it? I really can't, well, I guess we're on the ground. Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to? Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago. You successfully defended yourself in the court of law. Ah, I see. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. What do we have with us? Kazuma would stick this over the doors of the wardrobe for me. It says keep out in Japanese, though I'm not sure the Russian crew can actually read it. Okay, I mean that's the proof really. If the crime scene was seen with that paper over the wardrobe, then we can't really be the culprit. Because if you imagine, if we are the culprit, so let's assume that, and we want to hide inside the closet or the wardrobe, then there is no way for us to put that paper over the door. As you can see, it's placed in between the two doors or the two halves of the door of the wardrobe. So unless we have some accomplice to help with that paper thing, then it's plainly impossible, right? We assume Kazuma is dead by that, so we're the only two people inside the cabin. If Kazuma cannot put that paper over the wardrobe after he died, then it's not us, really. So that's the evidence I think that we can present to Susato. Yeah. So let's inspect these this paper. You can see the remnants of the glue we used to stick this over the wardrobe doors. Although it wasn't proper glue, of course, we didn't have any of that with us. So I pulverized some rice into a paste to use instead. Oh yeah, rice glue, I guess. But to a stowaway like me, every single grain of rice represents precious rations. That's why I spread it as thinly as I possibly could. I couldn't bear to waste any. Okay, let's check. Keep out. This is a paper seal I wrote for the wardrobe. I remember really working hard to make it. But I'll never forget how Kazuma reacted. They expect the Russian crew to be able to read that, he said. Still, I was sure people would get the idea, even if they couldn't read it, so we used it anyway. And it worked. I don't know if the crew thought it was creepy or what, but no one opened the doors. Okay, that's what we need to present, this paper seal. Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes, it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in a place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decide to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah, yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. If I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. That's what I said. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Will that be enough? That's the only evidence that we have, I guess. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Susato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? Thank you. There we go. Well, in the light of that evidence, I plead you not guilty. I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating him here at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry. No, I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you use some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in position. So, yeah, I guess. What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Sasato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you, to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. I wouldn't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. Well, anyway, I shouldn't make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear. I will avenge your death. Okay, so this is our first time investigating a place or a crime scene. Last game we are just put into the trial. But a major part of this series, or the majority of the game, the Ace Attorney series, is the investigations part, because the trial will not commence unless we have enough evidence or enough information to back our arguments, right? So we converse with Susato. So there's a check mark in every prompt that we are presented with right now. So that's the only thing we can discuss with her. But let's examine our surroundings. So I see that there's an arrow on the left side. How can we move? Oh, so yeah, we can move. Okay, so let's examine this. What's this? I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator, a hole through which fresh air can circulate into the cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to the next door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it should be connected to the outside. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in, and the seas are rough, or something like that? I suppose. Maybe that's it. But yeah, that's what I see as one passageway, or one way to go outside of the locked room murder. Oh, what's the matter, Susato-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused. I forget to look around properly. Yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? Yeah, we just look around actually. Yep. I'm sure you're careful to look around using the directional keys, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Okay. So let's examine this white tape. Did Kazuma write that before he died? It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. What does that say? Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in these final moments, was he? I really can't read it. I mean, I have my thoughts about this message. I think the true culprit wrote over it or something. Like the original message was there, but it was written with additional symbols to make it look Russian. So let's just pin that for a while, because I can't really decipher it now. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? Then what language it is? What language is it? Sorry. It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Okay. So that's done. Oh, there's a check mark on the piece of surrounding, or the one side of the surrounding. Is this? What do you think this is? It looks like a broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. Okay. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Natsuke fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. Is it the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. Okay, so that's a mystery for now. Let's check this plate. That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But did you eat it out on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Susato-san. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. Which meant all the more for me. Wow, what a greedy one. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. Ugh, now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. Well, so much for being gluttonous. Let's check his sword then. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crewman makes of the scene of the— oh, sorry. We accidentally click on the Russian crew. Excuse me? What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But is it not true, I see? Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about his crime. Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Okay, what a serious look. Yet, of course not. Now back to the corner of the room and make silent. Oh, I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. Okay. Let's check this sword. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on his trip. I suppose that shows just how important it was to him. And now he's gone. But I'm not ready to let this spirit go just yet. So are we inheriting his sword? Okay. So this table. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still... Oh, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. How weird. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. No. Okay. What is this scroll hanging on the wall? Seigi. The Japanese word for justice. The brush strokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet you, Can you really look at the characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Sato is really pushing the narrative that we are guilty. Even though you stowed away on this ship? Now you're going to bring that up, are you? I can't win. Okay, so there's nothing in it. What is this text on the wall? These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Buria. It's essentially a list of requests from a captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. So why is Kazuma allowed to keep his sword then? Is he an exception? What? What are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? Wow! I mean, I can't decide. I mean, if you're Kazuma's pet, I guess. Well, one thing's for sure, either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. Okay, what is this shelf on the wall? The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look. They've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea? Although he's fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked and everything mown down at once. Did something bump on the wall, I guess? I wonder if... Perhaps it was Kazuma-sama's doing his morning sword training, don't you think? I seriously doubt it. And perhaps... It was you, Naruhodo-san? In a fit of rage? I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? I'm not really sure, but it toppled that way. Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Okay. Why did we do that? But I guess it will be important later on, I guess. Maybe there's something between these books in the bottom row. Let's check the trunk. It's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Lakas. Oh. Ah yes, I see it says this way up in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized a foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over, and then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear, being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Sato takedown, I guess. Well, let's check the table. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. Okay, he has a logbook or a journal, I guess. London Diary. Poor Kazuma, he didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Hiya! Oof, not another Sato takedown. That's out of the question. What? Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it is something important? Something relevant to the case? No, it's a private book. Alright, I won't read it. Thank God. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? Oh. Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, it looks like he might be European. Oh. How did he... You've noticed the man too, have you not? Have you? I have no idea who he is, or how he got in here. But he looks suspicious and tall. Suspiciously tall! Oh, Japanese are short, I guess. Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. Do you really not know who that is? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk? Or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk to him. Am I just imagining it, or does Sato look almost uncontrollably excited? Oh, so much for being attracted to a tall, handsome man, European man. By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get the suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do! Okay. Let's examine. Before that, let's examine other parts of this room. This is, yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about the life in Great Britain. Large households often has bell cords like this, which you can pull or to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. I guess that's the early version of phone in a hotel room. Like yeah. Shall we give it a little try? Yes. In the interest of cultural research, obviously. He just wants to try. Okay, that's a little bell. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. I guess. Let's check the wardrobe. It's some 2 weeks ago since we set sail for Japan. Have really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naroda-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting making this voyage in your own secret hideout. The trouble was I never knew when the member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in this cabin. No, sadly not. Sad. Okay. So let's... I think there's nothing to inspect besides Herlock Sholmes. Okay. Excuse me. Excuse me. Do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Oh? What about it? Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Oh god. Greetings. What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Ooh, I like his theme. Ooh, nice goggles. I see. Fascinating. Isn't that an X-ray goggle, I think? Sorry, what do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me, yeah. Oh, yes, everything is clear now. Don't be a perv. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. No. Sorry, what? You're a Japanese boy. And now, whilst venturing toward foreign crimes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh? Well, that's true at least. But we're not from Afghanistan. But how? Oh, what a pipe. How the deuce did I do that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction, hardly worth explaining. Have you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madam. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. It's just far from the truth. You have 16 victims of an assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. Now that's some just far-fetched things. And when the very bond occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life, too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. You're not as smart as Sherlock Holmes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin, with 16 victims to his name. I don't even see one person who fits the bill. Susata is disappointed. So it's true. It was you who did this, Kazuma-sama. Oh god. She's an impressionable girl. What? And you're plotting a revolution too? It's shameful behavior, Naruto-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen. There's no way. Hiya! God. Not again. That's the third Susata takedown that we took. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. Ah, my god, my head. Why is it so throbbing? Because Susato, Susato took us down. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing toward foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see. I like his gestures, it's so funny. What do you make of that, Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it a deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed, and observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles. You see, I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. I don't think you introduce yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. Thank God you removed your goggles. I'm none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women of the world over. The inimitable Herlock Sholmes. So, it's really you, the actual Herlock Sholmes. The very same, the inimitable actual Herlock Sholmes. Do you know this man, Susato-san? The most famous detective in the world? Naruto-san, of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. What planet have I been living on then? We must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Okay. Can we check our profiles first? Okay, Kazuma Asugi is 23. Satomi Kotoba, 16. Herlock Sholmes, 34. Wow. There's not a person in the world who hasn't heard of his famous great detective. Not a person except me, apparently. Okay? Let's converse with this man. Great detective. So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? Indeed, I am none other than the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German? Herlock, was it? No. I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. Please call me Sholmes. Okay? We're getting familiar. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Rand's magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Ah yes, here it is. The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes. Okay. So you're the protagonist in a series of short stories then. Indeed I am. And you've read so many of your own stories. I've started to think you really are a detective. Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Okay? Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements and chronicles them in the magazine. So you have a Dr. Watson in this game. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, so it's Dr. Wilson. Presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? Wait. Oh, shucks, I forgot. Is the victim in the last case named Dr. Wilson as well? If I remember correctly. I'm not sure. I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really, I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science, logical reasoning in its purest form. Okay? Science? Really? The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in his subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture, fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows of in the skin, all these things are data. Right. Not being creepy at all, Sherlock. Or Herlock, I mean. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago, how can he look at me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Okay, so that's for being a great detective. Let's ask a few more. Kazuma's death. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? Ah, my dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all of the crew members to force the cabin open, and I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board, and the handcuffs seemed to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. Ah! The very moment I laid my eyes on the scene, Two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Okay. What are those two facts? Oh, yeah, it updates sometimes. I guess we can move in this episode, or in this case, in the next episode. A lot of things happen in this episode, or in this episode of our gameplay or playthrough. So we are suspected of killing our best friend in a locked room murder case. This fellow, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, saw us through that wardrobe and pinned the crime to us, which we are being accused of. A lot of things. Sasato, me knowing Herlock Sholmes being renowned worldwide, except us not knowing who is he. And yeah, this is a very interesting case so far. I'm not sure if Kazuma is really dead. They are like painting the picture that Kazuma is dead, but as Naruhodo pointed out in a few moments ago, there are no clear signs of external trauma or external signs of injuries, so we are still unsure whether Kazuma really is dead. Maybe he's just unconscious, and the medical or the doctor on board is not that well versed in post-mortem reports. But I do hope Kazuma is not really dead. But let's see. Maybe the writer killed him off immediately just to stir at drama. But such is a game. But yeah, that's it for this episode. I'm really glad I returned to this game. It's been a long time since I uploaded an episode, so I'm sorry about that. But I will try to keep this game or this episode going, so we can finish it, or until we finish it, I guess. So you can watch it again. Yeah, that's it for me this episode. Thank you so much for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye.